Today we're interviewing Jeremy Knight. Jeremy is an elite agent here at Real Broker and absolutely crushing it with his real estate YouTube channel in Lawson, Texas. And in this interview, Jeremy reveals his entire content strategy for his YouTube channel, how he's leveraging YouTube Shorts and YouTube Lives in his businesses, and what Jeremy thinks is the best call to action to use on YouTube today in 2023. So let's jump right in. Jeremy, how are you, man?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming by today. And I was just looking, the first time I've had you on this channel was July 2023.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a lot fatter in that video. Look at that.
my beard's a lot smaller in that video as well. July 2020, I mean, so
yeah,
during the pandemic. And yeah, I mean, during that time, I feel like a lot of us really started focusing on video. Like, you can't really go out, so you might as well just stay in and create some YouTube content. I think a lot of us really built up a pretty big audience during that time.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. I think, you know, the people that were sitting and watching versus the people that were doing, we're definitely seeing two different ends of the spectrum. You know, that propelled my YouTube business by just getting after it. You know, I had nothing better to do. A lot of people had nothing better to do. It was that or drink, which I was doing both of pretty heavily during that time. But look, it changed my business. It took me from being just an average $12 million a year agent to being pretty much a mega agent in my market and dominating our market just by using long form content. So it was a good opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And so do you credit YouTube videos? Like, is that really, what percentage of the leads for your business do you think comes from YouTube?
About 80% right now still.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, that's fantastic, man. I think Ken Pozak said it best in one of his posts, that he said something to the effect of like, it really excites me that I'm essentially a marketing company that sells real estate.
Yes. Yep.
You know? And that's essentially what you're doing as well. You're building this big brand down in Austin, Texas. Well, can you give me an idea of like some of your numbers? What are some of the production number of leads that you get from YouTube and social media these days?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I get very many leads from other sources as far as just inbound from my social media stuff. I think some of this other social media stuff is just an add-on. It's where people can kind of go to know you a little bit better. I don't use TikTok. I know a lot of people do. I'm a big believer in just stick to what you know best. And I don't know TikTok and I don't want to spend the time to learn it. But Instagram, a lot of agents find me on Instagram, and that does really good because people will reach out to me like, hey, tell me about this Real Broker thing. So it's good for that. But all my business typically comes from YouTube. So it's all been built up on this long form content and building trust. And I think this is where agents, when you're getting into social media and all this, people want to be funny and they want to make creative content, and that's all fine and dandy. The reality is your whole job is to build trust with your audience in order to have them reach out to you to either buy or sell a home. I see a lot of people do a lot of good content, but it doesn't actually get them business. So I like to focus on the content that actually gets me business, grows my business, and you know, potentially helps other people. I mean, if you think about the content that we do, the style that we do, you know, everybody does it different, but I'm teaching people basically good fundamentals of finances. And so if I look at my business that way, I'm more of a finance company that ends up selling homes.
Yeah. Oh, I love that idea. So instead of a marketing company, you're a finance company.
Yeah.
That's a good perspective. And yes, I'm really happy to hear that. I think you and I are in agreement about some of this, you know, this is short form content, just people doing silly dances on TikTok. And like, I feel like that can be good to stay in front of your audience and just kind of keep staying in front of them, but it's not necessarily lead generation. Like I would absolutely take a 12-minute YouTube video over 12 1-minute long short videos on Instagram or TikTok or something.
Yeah, and that's not to say that somebody can't build up a good presence on using short form and convert that to business. That's not what I'm saying at all. And there's probably a lot of people who hear what I just said and be like, oh gosh, no. But the reality is, for me, long form has definitely been a better route than short form because it's the trust factor. You know, it's a lot harder to create trust in 30 to 60 seconds, where when you're giving people really good information for 12, 15, 20, 30, an hour, and you're being honest with people. I mean, I just went to a listing appointment the other day and this girl goes, yeah, I met with 2 other agents, but I'm going to work with you. And I hadn't even given my pitch yet. And she's like, I just know that you know more.
Yeah, that's great. Man. I mean, it shows your credibility. Like it shows that you are an expert on those markets. You're keeping your thumb on the pulse. Yeah, I love that. I mean, so your videos, it's not just lead generation, it's lead conversion as well.
Correct. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, with all of that. That's fantastic, man. So one of the biggest struggles I think people have on YouTube is like, what do I create? And can you talk to us, what is like your content strategy? Like what is your, how do you come up with ideas for videos?
Yeah, so I adopted the, buckets of content a while ago. Christina was a big proponent in that. Daryl Eves had taught buckets of content. So I try to keep buckets of content that people want to hear. Like right now in Austin, everybody's talking about, I mean, you're going through my channel there. People are talking about prices coming down. So I'm talking about prices coming down and then also talking about, hey, you in this market, this is an opportunity. And so people are not happy with that, right? Because they just want to hear that the market's crashing. But the reality is when I come up with the buckets of content, it's got to be valuable content. So if somebody's looking to buy, what's my avatar looking for? Are they looking for a specific price point? Are they worried about affordability? How can we talk about affordability in a way that they may go, oh, you know what? I can still afford a home and this is a good choice for me. I also work on a lot of luxury stuff because I work with quite a few luxury clients. So, we do luxury property tours. I think anybody that's getting into this right now, if you want to go the easy route in this and actually be able to convert, it's going to take a little bit of time. But the easy route is doing just straight voiceover property tours. If that's what you wanted to do and run around and do that instead of talking head videos like I do, because look, there's a few things that people are afraid of when they're building content, right? They don't want to be on camera. They don't like how they look, all of those mental things that go through their heads. The other thing is they don't know what to say when it comes to finances or what is a good choice, what is a bad choice. So they don't really understand what to actually talk about. So Raj Sahu in my market is a great example of this. He doesn't even go on camera. He literally walks around the property, talks about the property, does voiceover tours, and the guy's crushing it. So property tours like this, you can do on your phone pretty easily. I mean, this is with a nice camera, but you can do that on your phone. Walk around a property and then do a voiceover, and you put 10, 15, 20 of those videos out. Like I said, it's going to take a little bit of time. People start watching those videos. They take you more seriously. You start getting calls, especially in my market. If you're doing new construction and people are looking at new construction, it's absolutely a good way to get business. So the talking head stuff is great as well. So like in this video, I'm marrying the two, right? So as you're playing it, we're doing a property tour, but I'm also showing what you're getting in the community. And so I think that's what people want. They want to know what they're getting. If they're living in this area, what are they going to get, right? And our job as agents is to understand what they do get in those areas. What are the positives? What are the cons? So if you're going to do my style, which is come up with 4 different types of content. So I talk about new construction, suburbs. I talk about the areas in Austin to be buying in. And then I talk about the market, right? Those are the 4 buckets that I stick to. If you want to get past all that and just walk through properties, I highly recommend that would be a good route to go.
Yeah, I love that, man. And that kind of looks like a new bucket of content for you, the house tours.
Yeah. And so what I'm going to do with that, you see them up there now. In about a week, I'm going to pull all of those property tours off of that channel, every single one, and I'm going to re-upload them to it is Austin Luxury Home Tours is what I have that on. And so we'll put all of those videos out on Austin Luxury Home Tours.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And that's kind of like, I think that you're absolutely right that this is a great strategy for a lot of agents. There are a lot of agents that are just doing down and dirty walkthroughs of homes like this, and they're creating huge YouTube channels just from doing video tours on their phones with very 100%. Minimal editing. And so like that's kind of one style, and then the other style is sort of like Brad McCallan or like what you're doing, where you're in the video and just, Brad says he spends 20 hours sometimes in editing some of his videos.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome though. I mean, that's really interesting that you're going to pull those and put them on a separate channel. And that's kind of been a debate within this community the last couple of years. So whether you should have home tours on your primary channel or have a dedicated one to them. So what's your thinking behind that? What's your rationale behind having a dedicated channel just for video tours?
Well, Christina keeps explaining to me how I'm wrong, even though I feel like I'm right. So look, I've been a practitioner of getting business from my YouTube channel. Okay. being that I'm a practitioner and getting business from the channel, I needed to put what's best on the channel. What's going to, and look, everybody wants to talk about views, how many views you got. Look, views don't matter. I keep, when I give talks about this, I keep explaining. So if you pull up the 2 videos I have recently about home tours, the $3.8 million one, the other one, if you look at the views on those, 586 views.
Yeah.
Okay. I got an entire subdivision out of that video. An entire subdivision of 73 homes I'm taking on from that video. Okay. If you look at the other video, that's the $3.8 million one. That one hasn't gotten me any business, but I've had people reach out to me about Barton Hills, about that area. So I don't have any business I can say I've gotten from that, but it just shows you that that video right there, $5.7 million, is probably going to net me $1 million at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's wild, man. And so you think that these in particular are just really effective at generating seller leads? Like, yeah, you think that they're generating more seller leads?
They're generating both.
Okay.
Buyers and sellers for sure.
Yeah, dude, that's super cool. And yeah, I've always been kind of on the fence about whether you should have property videos on your educational channel.
Yeah.
Because like you just pointed out, like there's not many views. A lot of your other content's going to get a lot more views, and it is a little bit of a different value proposition. But I feel like some people, like how you're doing it, where you're turning it into an educational thing to talk about the area and the community, and you're in it as well. Like that kind of does bridge that gap a little bit. But yeah, I think that'd be really interesting if you had an entire channel just video tours like that. And I'm guessing you hire somebody to go there with you.
Yeah. So I have a video guy now. And so my videos used to be really inexpensive. Now they're more expensive. I just don't have the time to edit 12 hours, 15 hours. And if I can, so basically what I do now is I'll call my video editor, say, hey, we're going to shoot these 3 properties on Tuesday. I'll get you access to all 3 properties. So what I'll do is I'll open the door. I'll let him get in there and walk around for an hour, getting all the B-roll he needs, everything. Then I go through and it takes 30 minutes. We'll walk through the video. I crash through it. We lock up the house, go to the next one. In that hour that he's walking around, I'm shooting short little clips for short Instagram stuff that I can put out there. I'm making calls, talking to clients. I'm working. You know, so that hour is better spent versus me walking around filming myself. Yeah, I'm going to pay that guy, you know, whatever it is I pay him, but I can actually get work done at the same time. And getting the work done, making calls, talking to clients. Look, we all think that video is the end all be all, and it's fantastic. But in this day and age, especially going into a tougher market, you still got to be able to make calls. You still got to be able to reach out to people. You still have to be able to have conversations and have good scripts. I think that's really important. I think people want to take the easy way out. I mean, I say people, not agents, but everybody wants to take the easy way out. There is no easy button when it comes to this. It's all hard work.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's great advice. Tell me a little bit about your videographer, because that's a big question a lot of people have. Is like, how much do you spend? How do you find one? How do you get connected with your guy?
So I've been preaching this for a while, and I don't think people really, I've had a few people tell me that they've gone this path and it's actually worked for them. So I would go to your local college, sign up to be, to hire interns, and then post job resumes for people that are doing video. That's one route. My guy's a guy in college, so I can't put out as much content as I would like to put out because there's limitations with him being in college still. But you can go to WiseHire and, you know, put up what your hourly rate is and pay somebody hourly. And so what I did is, you know, put up a post for $25 a shooting hour and $25 an edit hour. So, I mean, obviously it's a trust factor there.
Yeah.
But they'll, you know, so videos usually costing me about $300. The time for him coming out, it's costing me probably $200. So you're looking at, you know, $1,200, the math, and that's wrong, about $1,500 a month to $2,000 a month. Now, there's a lot of short stuff, like a really good agent here in San Antonio. He's paying a guy $5,000 a month, and they're constantly putting out reels, constantly putting out videos. I mean, they're constantly putting out content and growing. So, you know, you could do that route. And if you go, God, $5,000 is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. It's absolutely a lot of money, especially in this business. But if you're getting, you know, $60,000, $70,000 worth of business a month because of that $5,000, it's worth every penny.
100%. Yeah, man. I mean, because there's people who will spend $3,000 a month on Zillow leads.
100%.
Like
I know agents are spending $13,000-$15,000 a month. Now agents are doing Zillow Flex at 35%. So you're paying a 35% referral fee for Zillow to find you the business? No, why? For a lot less, I can get way more leads. You asked me about leads earlier. We get on average about 4 to 5 leads a day.
Yeah. That's fantastic, man. And you have a team now, right? You used to have this referral model where you'd refer them out to the agents that you trusted. Yeah. I think last year or so you switched to having a team model.
Yeah. So we've kind of gone through it on this. So it's been interesting. I would say most agents over the last year kind of just want to be handed leads and then walk out and write a contract. And yeah, that's nice, but there is some, there's cultivation, there's time so when we're getting a lot of these leads, not all of them are ready to go leads. A lot of these leads are like, hey, I'm looking to come out in 5 months. So you hand those leads over to a buyer's agent and they end up like not calling them ever again. And they don't ever do anything with it, even though you have protocols. So we've hired and fired a few people. Now we've gone to an ISA model, a showing assistant model. And so what that does is the ISA is responsible for following and keeping touch with the people like, hey, Jeremy wanted me to reach out to you and find out what other information that you need. What is your timeline still the same? You guys talked back in August about this. We just want to make sure that everything's still lined up. Jeremy's excited to work with you. So those are converting leads because those leads come through and then they will sit, right? Most people that have leads that come through, they're not all like, I want to buy a house today. And so that's what people want. So we've gone to an ISA showing assistant model, and that seems to be economically feasible. I make a little bit more money off of it that way. But I'm just recapturing all the dollars and time I've spent building a YouTube channel, building all of this. And the last thing you want is to spend hours putting together content, putting together all of this, spending your time and energy doing this, and an agent not call somebody and you lose the business because they were incompetent.
Yeah. I've tried to start a team before and it was absolutely infuriating. It's so frustrating. Yeah. Spending money on leads or spending your time creating leads and like they just, they don't value it. And so right now, so you don't have a team anymore. Is that why you don't have any buyer agents? I don't have any buyer. So my wife and I are a husband-wife team. So my wife primarily works the most for our buyer clients. We do have, our assistant's a licensed assistant, our ISA is licensed, everybody's licensed. So you could say I have 5 licensed agents on my team. I just don't have right now, we don't have any active buyer agents. Now, one thing we do too, as well with our downline here in Austin, obviously being at Real, I have agents around my front line. So we'll refer, I'm South. So we'll refer clients that are looking up in an area I just don't want to be in, I have to think about my showing assistant's time as well. How much time and money am I going to pay the showing assistant to drive an hour, hour and a half when there's an agent that I could get 30-35% from, and they will close it. So, so we do that. So we have agents in our front line that we hand out referrals to, but primarily we're in-house. Yeah. I mean, I've seen some agents do that where they have like an unofficial team, referral partners as their primary, and not just like any random agents. It's somebody that and you can really trust. Yeah. So I was watching one of your videos and I was trying to pay attention to what call to actions you have at your videos. And the one I watched, you pretty much had no call to action at the end of your video. What's your philosophy on that? And I see that sometimes you ask questions for your audience instead. But what's your call to action philosophy for your videos? Yeah, you missed the call to actions. So the call to actions in my videos are always like this. Oh, we had a client that just bought in this area. It's a call to action. Oh, one of our seller clients. So I'm more of a storyteller about the success of what we're having. So my client just went through this. We were going through this. We had these issues. So I try to always in my videos talk about client experiences, good or bad, and give that to them. And then I also ask questions. What do you think about that? So I want them to engage, and the more they're engaged and the more they're hearing the successes of our clients, they want to become a client. They want to be the story that, oh, we had this great experience with an amazing client that did this. So yeah, they're not all like just these like, hey, give me a call. There are slight call to actions. Would you want this in a transaction? Would you want that in a transaction?
you know, we've helped clients that have helped this. If that's interest of you, you know, you can find us. So I try not to do the overt call to actions, because I feel like you lose trust when you're like, hey, call us. The whole point of this content and this style of content is to build trust. You want people to think that you want to be the person that knows the most. And so when people are watching your content and they feel like, oh, this person knows the most, I better give them a call.
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually. I actually kind of like that. Because yeah, so like I do consultations for agents sometimes, and people will tell me like, oh, I don't get any business, and I look at their channel and they have zero call to actions. They don't even people don't even know that they're a real estate agent. And so that is kind of like saying, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I'm actively working with buyers and sellers without, you know, having a very salesy call to action. Call me today for a free buyer's guide, a free consultation. Yeah, that's really interesting. There's a much more subtle, you know, hey, I'm a real estate agent, I work with clients kind of narrative in there. Yeah, I love that, man. And so shorts are kind of a big thing right now. A lot of people are really focused on shorts and vertical content. What's your view on YouTube shorts at the moment?
I have a lot of mixed feelings about shorts. I don't really think, I haven't seen that shorts actually get you a ton of business yet. I've gone through and you know, Trey Serrano and Trey's in San Antonio. Trey does a lot of short content that he puts on his YouTube channel. And so we were going back and forth in one of our classes that we do, talking about shorts and do they actually give you and get you more business. And we looked at his shorts, and if you looked at the data behind the shorts, yeah, like some of these are like 2,000 views, 1,000 views, 600 views, 200 views. Like, so it's so hit and miss with some of these, yet it is a good way. It's a gateway drug into your content. So you get people to watch that, and then they come in and maybe they'll watch some of your longer form content. If you have a really good short with really good information, they'll like that. I don't think it's a big business generator though. So, yeah, but so when I was looking at Trey's channel, you know, I wasn't getting very many subscribers from the shorts, but Trey was getting 5 or 6, 8 subscribers from his shorts. So I don't know if that's, they watched that one short and then went in and watched something else, and then they subscribed on something else, and it showed up as is that short being the call to action that got the subscription, or maybe it was the other video. But I mean, he's getting more subscribers that way. Now, again, having a ton of subscribers sounds awesome, but unless people are calling you and using you as your agent, you know, you could have 250,000 subscribers and talk about a lot of things and not get actual clients out of it.
So essentially you're saying like, if you did 0 shorts, your channel will probably be exactly where it's at. Like,
yeah, I don't think it would be a major, I don't think it's a major destination for people coming to find me. Yet I think it is a nice side piece. And just like being in the business of real estate, I equate it to this. In being in the business of real estate and doing what I do, I have a lot of agents reach out to me because of the YouTube channel. I have a lot of buyers reach out to me, and they come to me and they ask me about buying a home, or they ask me about our brokerage. Okay. So that side piece of having short content does bring people in. So if I'm going to keep doing the short content, and now I have a gateway into a brokerage, or talking to people about a brokerage as well. So I think it is an ad. It does add to your business, but I don't think it makes or breaks your business.
Right. Okay. And so you're saying you think it's, if anything, the vertical content on Instagram and YouTube, it's almost attracting agents more than it's attracting clients to you.
100%. And that's why, like, you know, there's some agents that put out a lot of content like directed at agents. I don't think you actually need to make content directed at agents. If you direct all of your content at getting clients and business, agents are just as attracted to that as learning what they could be doing in their business, because they're going to call you. I mean, my Instagram feed is full of agents DMing me like, oh, I love your content. I love what you do. And then they start asking me questions that leads to a different conversation. Right. But if I didn't have that vertical content, now I'd probably be fine. I just wouldn't have agents reach out to me.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, you know, like the type of content that I really focus on is YouTube videos and then articles. And like,
Yeah.
I just published this 3,000 word article with all these custom graphics and links to resources. The other day, I put like 20 hours into this one article. And then recently though, I had somebody reach out to me and say like, you know, are you still even active? Like, I don't really see you on social media very much. It's like, yeah, I'm still creating content. It's just, it's not, you know, this flashy content that everybody's really focused on right now with TikTok and Instagram, really.
Yeah.
You know, well, that's really interesting that, yeah. And I'm kind of on the same boat with you on that. I've known some agents have had huge TikTok followings, huge YouTube shorts channels, and they generate almost no leads whatsoever from the content, but it looks good. Their numbers look good. They have 1 million views on a short, and you think it's impressive. And what about
honestly, all that vertical stuff's just great for agent attraction. That's it. It's not good for business. I mean, for me anyway. I mean, so you tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, if you're seeing it, if you are seeing closed dollars in your bank account from buyers or sellers reaching out to you, and what that is, drop that in the comment, because I think this is what's really important. This is why people like Malcolm, myself, and others believe that long form is the best way, because I can see direct dollars and I can attribute, okay, it wasn't maybe this video, but it was, they watched 30 videos and watched 3 hours of my content, and then they came to trust me. It's a lot harder to watch 3 hours of content and at a minute a pop.
Yeah, 100%. You're providing way more value. Building that relationship on a much deeper level. You're really showing that you're an expert in that area. Yeah. Now, there's always some exceptions. There's Tyler up in Canada, Tyler Hassman, Brad McCallan's friend. Yeah. All he does is these vertical walkthrough of houses, and supposedly he's, you know, building kind of a pretty big business off of that. And I think he's got like a little bit different business model as well. I think he refers out a lot of that stuff, but yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. That I see shorts as more supplemental content, not your main thing. It's, you know, just like it's staying in front of people. And that's interesting perspective that it's really for agent attraction more than anything. Like, maybe I need to do more of those.
Well, I mean, think about what you're talking about. We're sitting here talking about Tyler Hassman and vertical, right? So his content's attracting us because we want to get business out of it. Tyler, how are you getting business out of this? So we're attracted to it, right?
Yeah, it's got us talking. Yeah, you know, that's how it's keeps showing up in my my Instagram feed. Yep. You know, and so what about live streams? I know you and Trey do some live streams. How's that really play into your business model?
Yeah, so Ian and I in Austin do Real Migos, and what's interesting about the live streams is I will get a lot of the same people back through the lives. I think if you're not doing 30-minute live stream once a month or an hour live stream once a month, if not weekly, you are heavily missing out. If you look at the analytics on the back end, people are watching that hour video for 25, 30 minutes. So that's keeping people on your channel. YouTube loves that. So they're going to keep putting your video content out. As long as you keep talking about stuff that's relevant, what's happening in the market, and you're not too salesy, people will keep coming back to the content. So I love live streams. I think it's, you know, the other thing is like, you know, look at Christina. Christina does 1 video a week, and then she does her live stream on Saturdays, and that's what she does. And she gets a lot of people, a lot of eyeballs on her content. You know, it's a good, honestly, I think if you're not doing live streams, I think you're missing out.
Yeah.
I told that to Tom Ferry's face, and people were, I was like, Tom, why aren't you doing more live streams? People will pay you in the middle of the live stream, like, oh, thanks for the $300. Thanks for the $100. And then you keep talking about what people want to hear.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. And I used to do those on my channel as well. And people get really excited that it's an opportunity for them to talk to me without having to actually call the phone up, right? If somebody has too much anxiety to call you up, like that's a great like middle ground there for them to start like communicating with you. All right, man. And so you're putting on some training down in Austin, Texas here pretty shortly, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, this week, in fact. So Friday, September 8th, we'll have Jimmy Mackin, Broke Agent Media, Byron Lazine, the Broke Agent himself, Eric Simon, Lana Rodriguez, Monica Church, huge YouTuber, like 2.5 million subscribers across a couple channels, Trey Serrano, Tammy Price, Will Draper, who's crushing on AI stuff. So we have a really, really big lineup of really good speakers that are going to come talk about kind of implementing AI, implementing Google business profiles, and all that good stuff. So
I love it, man. All right. If somebody wants to find out more about that or just kind of connect with you, what's the best way?
You could just DM me on Instagram at @TheRealJeremyKnight, and then I'll send you the link and stuff.
All right, Jeremy. Well, I appreciate your time, buddy.
All right. Thank you.